I am so excited to welcome my guests today because they're guests that I haven't seen in a really long time. Here today, we have Amelia and Rashida. Amelia, let's start with you. Could you maybe introduce yourself? Like, how old are you? What do you like to do for fun?
So my name is Amelia and I am 9 and I do cheerleading and gymnastics.
What? Wait, so how long have you been doing cheerleading?
Cheerleading I've been doing for a year and then gymnastics I've been doing for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Wait, so how did it start? You were doing gymnastics and then you're like, ooh, cheerleading sounds similar and fun. And is that how that happened?
So I started doing gymnastics when my best friend, she used to do gymnastics, so I wanted to do gymnastics too. So I took gymnastics lessons in the summer, and then for the rest of the year when it wasn't summer, I just learned by myself. So I don't know that much because for more than half the year, I tried to self teach myself. And then after that, our school started a cheer team. And so
Mm.
they had this clinic where there's 2 days, the last 2 days of school. After school, you would go to the gymnasium and the girls from the cheer team would teach you some cheer. And it
Oh,
kind of really got me to like join the cheer team. So now I'm in it.
wow. Okay. And then you just had a really good experience and you're like, wow, I want to keep doing this,
Yeah.
basically. Nice. What's your favorite thing about cheer?
Um, I think it's like all the dances we do.
Uh-huh.
And
Dances.
so usually in cheer, we have the basketball games, and in the middle of the basketball game, we have to perform a dance.
Like what kind like a hip hop dance or like what kind of dance?
Like, yeah, like hip hop.
Oh, that's super cool. And what about gymnastics? Like what's your you're still doing that right now too, right?
Yeah, so school is almost over. So after school is
Hmm.
over, I'm going to start gymnastics lessons.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about gymnastics?
Like I love doing flips and stuff, and like I don't really know, it's just fun.
Nice. Front flips, somersaults, back
Yeah,
flips. Nice. Have you learned how to do a backflip?
no.
Do you
Like
think
doing
you would
cartwheels all day at home. Like,
uh,
she's kicking everybody in the face. Like, we're just trying to walk through the doorway, and she's, like, cartwheeling in.
is there something in gymnastics that you really want to learn how to do?
Yes. So in a lot of the Friday meetings, I used to do like back bend in the middle of them.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah. No, I, I'm trying to do a back bend, but then put my leg up and then kick over. So I stand
Oh,
up. I can't do that yet, but I'm gonna try.
that
I mean,
sounds hard
yeah, it is hard.
because you after you bend backwards like a rubber band, next you'd have to kick your leg over, but you'd have to like it's not just your leg muscle like kicking off the ground. I feel like you have to really use your core and
Yeah,
like pull your legs over, and legs are like really heavy too.
yeah,
Oh, are you? Do they teach you how to do that though, like in class?
yeah,
Oh, okay, you're just practicing it before you even have to do it in class.
yeah.
Wow, what a good student. Impressive. Well, okay, now let's talk about mom real quick. All right, so Rashida, what about you? Like, what do you like to do for fun?
So I'm Rasheda, Amelia's mom, and, so I really one of my hobbies I really enjoy is cooking,
Mm,
and I really enjoy doing, like, different cultural cooking. So we like to experience other cultures through food, and I like learning, like, the
love it.
history behind the food.
Mm,
So it's a little bit of, like, a little anthropology almost, like, the study of, like, how these ingredients came to be, or, like, the native people of that country, why they source certain ingredients, things like that.
I love. It's fascinating, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's so fascinating. You learn so much, even, like, my own culture, so we are Bengali American, and so, like, a lot of, like culture is very fluid, right? So, like, when a lot of our, I guess, family members first came to America
Mm,
back in, like, I guess, the 80s, there wasn't a lot of ingredients, and, there wasn't, like,
mm,
international food stores, so they had to use and be resourceful and use whatever ingredients was available, so, like, even
mm.
my own culture, I'm still learning that there's
Yeah.
a lot of food that I grew up eating that are just actually not native to Bangladesh, they're just, like, things that my mom put together with ingredients she found in the supermarket.
Yeah.
So that's, like,
Isn't that
interesting.
so funny? And but you know what? Like, but then hundreds of years ago, then in like your ancestors or like ancestors from other cultures and countries were probably doing the same thing. And like some
Probably.
merchants come in on a ship and they're like, check out this spice. This is turmeric. And then it's like, whoa. Oh, this
Right.
is staining my clothes. But it's like, and it's like, oh, and then paprika, and then like all these different spices and different vegetables. I totally agree with you. Whenever I travel, I prefer to do less sightseeing, although I do
Mhm.
enjoy it. But I think something that sticks with me forever, that is more beautiful in my opinion or perspective, is learning about the people
Mhm.
through the food. It's
Yes.
like, it's like if I like, for example, when I was in Dubrovnik,
Mhm.
and what I learned was like Dubrovnik, what it's part of Croatia, but before that, I believe they're Dalmatian,
Mm.
like the dogs. And so I asked, so I guess actually Dalmatian dogs are from Dalmatia. But anyways,
Oh,
so
that makes sense.
I saw that there were a lot of Italian restaurants
Mhm.
everywhere, heavily
Mhm.
influenced, right? And so I was like, I'm I'm not going to eat Italian food because I will eat Italian food when I'm in Italy. I'm here because I want to experience the culture. And
Right.
so I kinda had to, like, go through all these different alleyways and up these different hills and steps, and then finally I found, like, this place called Heritage of Dubrovnik.
Mhm.
I hope I'm remembering the name right, and what was so cool was that each dish had a story in the menu of
Oh.
where this, like, like, where did it come from? And, like, so then I was really fascinated by their fish soup. So, it was supposed to make someone feel strong again if they were feeling sick. So then I started asking, like, "Oh, so, like, what ingredients are in there?" So I can, like, learn how to make it at home.
Yeah.
And so I love to cook too because it's, like, part of bringing traveling back into your own home.
Yeah.
So I figured out how to, like, make the soup and, boil the fish bones, and then that's when I was introduced to, like, the soup is celery, carrots, onions, and then later on, as I explored more dishes, I was like, "Wait a second, this is the same 3 vegetables in this soup," and it's, like, in sofrito and, it's in what do the French call it? But those
Um,
the 3
they call it,
vegetables.
like, mise en pois. I could be pronouncing it completely wrong, but those are, like, the 3
Yes.
Holy Trinity.
Mois or something like that. I'm totally
Something
butchered.
like that, yes.
Yeah, sorry, whoever's listening, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're getting it so wrong." Oh, and then also, what was it? I was in Greece, and I remember being so fascinated by how in northern Greece, southern Greece, just like the because of like the trade and the different spices that were introduced, their dishes were just done differently from the north to the south. I'm like,
Yeah, I think
"Wow."
that's, like, in a lot of countries, like, even in America, like, the
Mhm.
South have well, you're actually in a different coast than us, like, we're in New
Yeah.
York, and, like, New York pizza is, like, so different than,
Mm.
like, Chicago deep dish? So, like, even within countries, I think, like, different parts of it, there's different kinds of food, which is so interesting too.
Yeah, yeah. So, Amelia, you're growing up really cultured. Yeah. Before the we started the show, we were just talking about like their background. Those who are listening, you can't really see their background, but if you're watching this on YouTube, they have these like bread baskets. So are they bread baskets on your wall?
No,
No, no, no. Sorry, they're baskets, but for rice.
yeah, so for rice or for cultivating vegetables, fruits, vegetables, so, like, women, you know, we're from Bangladesh, so, like, women in Bangladesh will use them
Hmm.
to, like, gather fruits and vegetables from, like, farms and because most of the country is, like, agricultural.
Hmm. Yeah, and just go boop, place it in there. Boop, place it in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the clay pots you have was for cooking rice, or
Yeah, cooking everything, rice, meats,
Mm,
vegetables. So that was like the main source of cooking because clay, it's like easier to make and it's more affordable for everyone. So clay is used more commonly. Probably not so much today, but that's like the history of the country.
yeah. So interesting, right? And if you look at a lot of other Asian cultures too, I know that like in Chinese cuisine, there's the clay pot rice where
Mhm.
it's like you'll put the rice in there and you'll like use oil and put it around the rim of the clay pot so it
Oh, we do
smoothes
something
down the
similar.
edges and
Yeah.
then it'll crisp up and that's part of like the tasty part is like as you're eating the rice, you'll get some of the crispy rice too.
We have
Yeah, and I think that
similar in our culture too. It's so interesting how a lot of I've learned this by learning different cultural food that um depending on the region you would think it's so different, right? But like
mm,
techniques are so similar and just maybe the flavoring because of whatever region you're from is
mhm,
different, but a lot of the cooking methods and techniques are so similar in
mhm.
different parts of the world. Like you wouldn't think that, but it's so interesting to learn the history. And maybe through trade, like you mentioned earlier, maybe through trade they've learned from other mercenaries and picked up on things and then it just became part of the culture.
Yes. I think and this kind of segues into the topic today is like just meeting other people, learning about other people, talking to more people. And I think that a lot of adults and a lot of kids, we really love having more meaningful relationships, having more friends that we love to hang out with, laugh with, eat with, play with, and enjoy life with, right? And and basically, what we'll talk about today is well, Amelia, what I want to pick your brain on is just around the topic of like, what are some maybe easier ways like to make more friends, maybe the right way? Because I think that sometimes what's challenging is sometimes we don't know if someone would want to be our friend. We don't know if we might sound weird or if we might sound awkward. If maybe let's start with like, maybe if you can share a little bit of your own story. Have you ever felt shy or like not sure if someone's going to be your friend or not?
So
Yeah.
yes,
How
I
did you
have.
feel?
Um, it's a lot of the times at like new places where I haven't been before, like some new summer camps, new after school programs, stuff like that. And I've been very shy. And sometimes when I'm too shy, I kind of just like have no friends there and I'm kind of like really bored. And so I feel like lonely and it's not a good feeling. So that
Oh, no,
laughing.
no, I mean, like, it's not. No, for sure. Not
So yeah, so I would I usually, well, now, after having a lot of practice, I just walk up to people and say, like, hey, what's your name? Do you want to be friends? And stuff like that. One of the biggest mistakes people make, though, is that they think that other people are not going to like them, but that person is probably like feeling like you're not going to like them. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so it's kinda, like, awkward, but then the other person kinda gets what you're feeling, so it's kinda, like, not that awkward because they feel the same feeling that you're feeling,
Yep.
and, when you kinda, like, get to know them more and, like, get to talk to them more and get to know about them more, because I feel like when you make friends, you shouldn't let you do all the talking, you should let them do most of the talking so you could get to know them.
Yes. So what I really love about that, it's almost like I feel like it's like the opposite of what we would think
Yeah.
we should do. What do you feel like maybe most kids are feeling kind of like shy or maybe they think they might sound weird or awkward? What do you think that most kids are trying to do when it comes to making more friends?
They're mostly trying to, like, be more like the other person that they're trying to be friends with and
Ooh.
change themselves for other people, which I think is one of the biggest mistakes.
Okay. Let's go into that some more. So like what did you say? It was like maybe act more like them? Is that what you said?
Yeah, to act more like them than act like yourself.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more, like, what do you mean by that?
So, say you do something,
Mhm.
like maybe you like to play with us, like you like to play a certain game that they don't like, and they like to play a different game, but you
Mm,
don't like that game. So,
mm,
most people would play that game with the other person that they
mhm.
don't like to make friends with them.
You mean, like, they might play something with someone they don't like, or they might play something they don't like?
They might play something they don't like,
Oh.
helps to be friends with someone.
Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, and then so there's that example. I think you mentioned another one, like, kind of I think what you're saying is just, like, you might end up acting
Mm.
different.
Yeah,
How else could someone maybe act different aside from, like, maybe doing things they don't wanna do?
they could like their personality could change. They could become like
Mm,
more mean or more like negative and stuff. And sometimes you could become positive, but I feel like when you become positive, you kind of just sound more like the other person, and it's kind of like
mm,
awkward. And I feel like if you're a separate person from the other person, it kind of is a better friend. Like it's funner when everyone's more different and they like talk to each other because there's more to talk about when you're all different. Because if you all like the same thing, well, not really like, but pretend to like the same thing, it's the conversations are gonna be about the same things that you already know about because you already like that thing or pretend to
yeah,
like that thing at least.
and, like, if you end up feeling like you have to pretend, I guess maybe to be liked, right?
Yeah.
In the end, how does that actually feel?
It feels like you can't do the things you like to do. Like I like to do cheer and gymnastics, and if I do that, I maybe can't do cheer and gymnastics, and I can't really express how I feel in my own ways.
And then if you can't express yourself in your own way, what does that do to your happiness?
It like makes you more like upset and
Mhm. Yeah. Why do you think maybe why would some kids do that even if it doesn't make them happy?
because if they didn't try to be friends with someone, they wouldn't have any friends. But the mistake they made is they had a friend in the wrong way. It might make your friend, or not really your friend, but your person you're trying to be friends with,
Potential friend.
potential friend, yeah,
Mhm.
happy. But if it doesn't make you happy, it doesn't matter if they're happy.
So then in the end, it like maybe kids think that it's gonna make them happy, but then after they do the pretending and do the performing, then they realize they're not happy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, what you're sharing earlier is that instead of doing that, the thing that's actually going to make you happy is were you saying something like doing less talking and more listening?
Yes. Even though you shouldn't act like someone, you should still like get to know them
Hmm.
because like you wouldn't want to make them do something that they don't want to do
Hmm.
because it could go the other way. Like you couldn't be pretending to be them, but they could also be pretending to be you, and you wouldn't want them to feel that way. So it's kind of
Yeah.
better to get to know people,
Yeah. You want to know their interests, right?
their interests, and
Right.
and they could know your interests.
Mm. So okay. So then, kind of like learn more about the other person.
Yeah.
Okay. I think some of the people who are listening right now are going to be like, how does this young lady know so much? And how does she know so much about what to do, but also what it feels like to like because I think you really did explain so well how it feels to not do it the happy way, where you kind of have to pretend and doing all that. Do you have your own story of you doing those old things yourself?
Like pretending to be someone.
Mm,
Mm. Yeah, I do.
yeah. Are you? I don't know how much you're comfortable with sharing.
I
Do you?
I could
Yeah.
share
Okay.
it. So there was this girl at my school. Her name was
Wait.
wait.
Don't tell us her
You
name.
can you can just give her like a pseudonym.
Spill the tea without spilling all the tea.
Yeah.
Her
You can call her Celine. Celine is our new baby
okay.
in our
Her
family.
fake
Okay.
name, her cover name is
Cover name.
Celine.
All
Okay.
right.
That's
Got it.
Celine.
So Celine. So she's a girl at my school. Well, now she's one of my best friends. But before, in the beginning, it was in second grade. So it was 2 years ago. That was a long time ago. So 2 years ago. So we were in separate classes, but my best friend from the grade before that was in the same class with her. So let's call her
Another girl name. We can call her Daisy.
Daisy.
Okay.
So Daisy was best friends with Celine, and I used to go over to her a lot at lunchtime because we were in the same grade, so we had the
Daisy?
same lunchtime.
You would
So
go to Daisy, right?
yes,
Okay.
so Daisy and Celine, they were best friends, and I used to talk to Celine a lot because Daisy was her friend. And at that time, we were obsessed with like trading toys. So if someone
Mhm.
had a toy that I wanted and I had a toy that they wanted, we would
Mhm.
trade it. And so I always wanted to be friends with her because she used to have like the best stuff to trade. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
the
Go on.
pen ran out of ink.
It's fine, but you understand.
And yeah, so I really wanted to be friends with her. And so the grade after that, I was actually in her class. So I started talking to her and she told me her interests and I told her my interests. And I usually did what she wanted to do, even if I didn't want that. And it kind of like didn't make me feel like I had a voice or something. And like I wasn't really like her. Well, didn't feel like I was really her friend. Felt like I was just following her. Don't want to say what we did do because that's actually what goes really deep in my friend group. And if I just said it, you wouldn't understand because it's a long story.
Okay.
It's really complicated, but yeah. And right now, I've stopped and I try to be more of myself, and it's been better.
Yeah.
It's
And
definitely better. So yeah,
okay.
now we're
Yeah. You know, when you were, I'm glad that it's better now, and you're being more of just being yourself.
yes.
And when you were sharing how like you guys would trade toys, did you ever feel like you had to kind of maybe trade and then like maybe you didn't get something back but you didn't want to say anything? Did that ever happen?
Yeah.
Yes, a lot.
Oh, I knew it.
No.
Because this happens a lot with a lot of kids and they just feel like, oh, if I ask for it, then they're not going to want to be my friend anymore. Did you feel that way?
Yeah. So it was once had this it was a yeah, it was like a panda. And it was like a little like small panda. And I gave it to Celine. And Celine, what if Daisy's watching this?
It's okay. It's okay. We'll let her know. The pseudo names we're using are like family member names.
Yeah, yeah.
So Celine, I gave her the panda, and the next day she came and she gave me. I can't say it, it's really funny. a pink, like a pink, like
The feather.
a feather.
It was like an arts and craft feather. Like
It was
Okay.
a pink arts and craft
Yeah,
feather,
like
and then
she
she
just
gave
picked-
me a gem sticker.
yeah,
Well,
a gem sticker, which was that an equal trade?
No.
It was not.
So the next school year, next school year, because that was actually like the last day of
Well, I
school.
just want to mention to Andrew that it was a conversation that we were having at home because we didn't want to,
Mhm,
it's like those trendy, every year or every few months there's a new trendy item and it's like
mhm.
and we're trying to explain to her like the value of this and this is not equivalent, right? Like
Yeah.
but forget money-wise value. And we kept asking her, "Do you feel like this was a fair trade? You gave
Mhm.
her something that you really enjoyed and liked and you were trying to use this toy to get her to be your friend."
I
But
don't have that toy anymore. I gave it to
yeah, I mean,
someone
this
else.
was 2 years ago, like, she's moved
Right,
on
right,
to,
right.
like, different toys now, but
No, I
Yeah.
gave it to my other friend.
okay, so, do you think that the trade was fair? She knew it wasn't a fair trade, but she just,
Huh.
like, was like, "Oh, but this is what it took to be her friend," you
Mhm.
know? So it took a year of encouraging and for her to build confidence to let her know that she didn't think that was a fair trade.
So, the year after that, I went to school and I told her, and she actually remembered that. I think she knew.
She
She
knew
does.
herself that that was not a fair trade.
So she remembered and she said, okay, or it was because it was the last day of school. But anyway, yeah, so she ended up giving it back, and
Oh.
I obviously didn't give her her feather
Right,
back.
'cause it wasn't even like a special feather. It was like,
A fe-
a feather that's like in the arts and crafts bag.
Yeah, yeah. She
um,
probably didn't even care for it back.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So I'm glad that you ended up getting it back. But basically the whole point was that when you made the trade, you felt like it wasn't fair. Like you didn't even need mom to explain that to you. You deep down knew it wasn't fair, but you were letting it slide as because you wanted her to like you, right?
yes,
Yeah. But she already liked you though, wasn't that true?
yes.
And
She,
what made you what like I think if we dive into like if we get a little bit curious, like what gave you the idea that maybe she wouldn't like you?
so I feel like that's everyone's thoughts.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that they're not gonna be liked by someone.
Mhm.
And it's always these like what if instincts that are like, what
Mhm.
if they don't like you? What if they don't like your clothes? What if they don't like your
Mhm.
personality? What if they don't like I don't know, like you in general?
Yeah.
So I just like stopped. I thought about it for a while. I'm like, there's no way any of this could happen if I pretend to be more like her because
Oh.
she obviously likes herself because it's herself. So I just said, if I'm more like her, then she's obviously gonna like me. So
Oh.
yeah, so I
Yeah. Well, to your defense, that is actually quite genius. Wait a second. If I act like you and you like yourself, then you'll end up liking me. But I mean, that's actually quite a genius move. But like we talked about, doesn't make you happy though. But to give you credit though, that was quite clever.
yeah,
And wait, so the doubts, so the what if this, what if they don't like me, what if they sound weird, all these what ifs.
yeah.
Why do we get these what if thoughts? Like, where does that come from?
Your brain thinks that
Yeah.
all these things could happen and it's trying to protect you from the
Mm,
possibility of the negative thing, like the negative things, negative outcomes.
yeah. I'm kind of playing this little game of why. So then you said it's the brain
Yeah.
thinking of these negative outcomes. And why is our brain thinking these negative outcomes?
To protect us. To protect us from the negative outcome
I
happening.
feel like we're getting really, really close now. So these what if thoughts come from our brain.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's trying to protect us. By the way, that part of the brain, for those who are listening, is called the amygdala.
Yeah.
Why is the amygdala feeling like it needs to protect us?
Because because these negative outcomes can affect how we feel about ourselves and how we
Yes.
feel about making any more
Oh, yeah. So the amygdala is kind of like, wee wee, something bad might happen. They might not like us, right?
Yeah.
Because it might actually happen. How does the amygdala know that it might actually happen?
Um,
What planted that idea into the amygdala?
um,
Ooh.
because
It's okay if you don't need.
I don't know.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
You answered everything so good. And so now, so like, let me backtrack. We might end up, it's called people pleasing when we want to please somebody, right? And we end up people pleasing because the technical term is we're avoiding rejection. We're avoiding the possibility they might just think we're weird or awkward or they just don't want to be our friend anymore. That's kind of what we're talking about. Like it's like maybe Celine won't want to be my friend if I ask for my toy back, even though it wasn't a fair trade. And then the question was, but why do we have that fear? And it's because our brain and the part of the brain, it's called the amygdala. And that's a very small little part of the brain that's like, for anyone who's listening and has watched the movie Inside Out, it's like that purple
Yeah.
guy inside the brain. That's the amygdala, just like trying to protect us, as you were saying. Why is the amygdala getting these danger signals that maybe I need to protect myself? Maybe I need to people please because it knows the truth. It might actually happen. But where did that idea come from? Evidence. Evidence that sometimes when you don't people please, it does not turn out so well. When you act like yourself, there was somewhere in your story, once upon a time, someone didn't want to play with you. Who knows when that happened? Like how old are you right now?
9.
You're 9. So like you can totally forget the memory, but it could have happened when you were 4.
Yeah, it did. Or when you were 3.
Yeah, or when you're 3, it could just be like you go to the park and then you just wanna play with someone and
They would say no
they
because
say no,
I
or they just look like they're not interested and
right,
maybe it's just that you wanna go down the slide with them and but they already made up in their mind, "I'm done sliding. I'm gonna go on to the swings." But
right,
but you don't know that. And so when
right.
you say, "Hey, you wanna go down the slides at the same time as me?" They're like, "No." But it's just maybe they're just saying no because
Yeah.
they they already have another plan, and then but to you, you don't know that, so you're like, it's because I'm not so fun. Being myself means I'm not so fun. What are they doing? Oh, they're going on the slides. Maybe if I pretend that I like going on the swings. Maybe if I pretend and act like I really want to go on the swings right now, how could they not want to play with me? Because I'm doing what they want, right? So
Actually,
basically,
real scenarios that happened
What?
really
with
for
3.
Amelia,
She didn't have a sibling until much later, so in the park
I regret
yeah.
it. I
Well,
don't like having a sibling.
oh, yeah, but not that's a different story, but in the park, actually would, she was too shy to go up to kids and speak to them, right?
I
Like,
said I'm gonna wait till they come up to me.
she would wait around, like, literally just do everything they're doing, like you just said. They're going down the slide, she'd go down even if she didn't wanna do that, they're going the swing, she'd just follow them around until they approached her and would say,
yeah,
"Do you want to play with me?" So that this was, like, years of this until finally, I would have to say, maybe, like, this year, I saw so much maturity and, like, so much skills, like, you know, it was just astonishing. I mean, is it okay if I share a scenario
Okay.
about your friends?
Which friend?
I won't say any names.
Okay.
Your I just think they have a little friend group.
Okay.
mm,
And, within the friend group, they're girls, things happen, right? But
yeah,
it was just amazing because, before she would be so anxiety driven by the fact that, like, now 2 of her friends are not friends and, which side should she pick? But, like, something recently happened with the friends, and she said I am going to remain friends with both of my friends and I'm not going to be involved in it because it actually, she recognized it like produced a lot of anxiety for her. And
Mm,
so I was just like, oh my God, that's like so amazing that she was able to do that and still like be confident that they will still remain her friends.
yeah.
Like that she didn't have to like all of a sudden just be one person's friend and then might risk losing this other friend. So like had to take both sides. She just said, I'm going to just be both of your friends. And this conflict that happened is between you two and not me. And so like I
Mhm.
thought that was like a lot of growth and that
Oh,
came
yeah.
from, a lot of the lessons from Rebel Ninja. And I think that that was amazing because it took a lot for her to get to where she is. Like, she's so much more confident and so much more self-aware of like she mentioned, like what she knows that she's truly like, okay, I'm a good friend, and I know that whatever their conflict is with them. These are things I like because some of her friends in her group don't like cheer and gymnastics and are not as good. And
No,
she's
they all like cheer and gymnastics.
what about Daisy? You said Daisy didn't like to do gymnastics. She likes cheer. But remember,
Yeah.
I guess that was last year. But,
Yeah.
I think it's important that she's understanding her interest and it's
Mhm.
not so influenced by other people's interests. Because at this age, they're so impressionable. And so her interests are truly hers and
Impressionable.
things that she wants, even to a point where we want her to do piano and she's like, I don't want to do that's not
Yeah.
something that interests me, like
Yeah.
but we are parents, so it's different. But
Right, right. Yeah, of course.
but I love that confidence for her to be able to like, speak up and tell us and it's not just doing things because she was told to do it. And
Yeah.
even a lot of stuff in school now. This year they had a lot of clubs. And so like she's
Yeah.
in certain clubs that are for her towards her interests and she
Like the
wants to
clubs.
I don't like it. They're not my interest. This is true. And I
No,
voiced
you don't like them because there's such a commitment and you have to pick
yes, it's
me
a
up so late.
yeah, there
Yeah.
I mean, those are like parents and scheduling issues
Mhm.
around work and such. So yes, but the fact that those are things that you truly wanted to do, even like the list of clubs, she really got to choose. It wasn't so much my friend is in it, so I must go to this one. It was more
Mhm.
like I want to do this particular activities. I'm going to choose that one that interests me, and it's not because all my friends are in it or because I don't want to be left out. A
Right.
lot of things is like I don't want to be left out. And another big difference that we saw this year was also that she is now confident to make friends outside her friend group, which I thought was a big deal. And she kept saying, I wanted to include this one friend in our group, but the rest of the group didn't want to be friends with her. But she still decided she can still be friends with this person, even if she's not included in this group of friends that they're in,
Wow.
which I thought was, I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's like adult things that she's making these
Yes.
insightful
I'm an
decisions.
adult.
Even this weekend we went to our birthday party and I was like, oh, but like I barely hear you talk about this girl. And she's like, she's my friend. She's just not part of that group that she's in,
Which
On over the weekend we went to that. I was like, oh, okay. I'm so happy that you still have these friends that you want to be friends with and you're not
Mm.
influenced by the group that don't want to, necessarily include them and add them to this group.
Mm. So you have, like, friend A and then friend A, B, C, D, E, F, G in one group, and even though she's not part of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, she can individually hang out with this person,
Mhm.
even though she's not included with this group. She can go hang out with the group of friends, and not feel this pressure of like, oh, I can't hang out with you, or else what are they gonna think? I'm gonna hang out with you because I want to, and I'm gonna hang out with this group of people because I want to, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, right?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did you go from people pleasing and feeling a little bit scared and doubtful of like, but what if she won't want to be my friend, to now being able to just like go and voice yourself and talk to more people, yeah, whenever you want to and just be more of yourself? How did you end up doing that?
So it was your program.
Yeah. What were you doing though?
Well, I
Maybe you
don't
know what? I think if we break it into two different ideas or concepts, I think that let's talk about what was your North Star. And North Star, what I mean is like, what is like, do you know what a North Star is?
know.
It's kind of like the star that's the brightest in the sky. And back in the day when people were on ships and they didn't have GPS, they only had a compass. They would have to kind of like look around which way is north, or they would have if they didn't have a compass, they would look for this North Star. And if they can face the North Star, they know that oh, that's north, but we have to go east, so we're gonna go that way. I mean that way. Yeah. So knowing which way was north was going to help them on their map know which way to go so they can go to the right island or whichever. So North Star is kind of like what's the direction we're trying to head in? What's our goal?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what is our North Star when it comes to like voicing yourself or making more friends, not caring what other people think, just be yourself.
Right.
And then we'll talk about frameworks, basically like what's the step by step that how do we do that? Like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like what do we do? So what would you say, what was the North Star for you? Like what was your goal whenever it came to making more friends or just being yourself, I guess? What was like the most important thing to you?
To not overthink what they think of me.
Yeah, got it.
So, like, to not, like, keep thinking about all those what if thoughts, like, what if they think this, what if they think that, when they're not really gonna think that. Or maybe they may
Mm.
think that, but, like, it's not like it's not gonna affect me because it really doesn't matter what they think of me.
Okay, this is good. So this probably falls more under like framework. It's like, so challenge your thoughts. By the way, so Rashida, when you're sharing earlier, it's like you're seeing this dramatic difference in her. And I think part of that is there's a new skill that she's developed, which is metacognition, her ability to think about what she's thinking. So typically with kids, without the right training and coaching, they just kind of let any passive thought happen that happens in their head, they accept it as truth. They don't reject it. They don't keep it away. They just, this is the truth. Like, you
Mhm.
think I'm weird.
Mhm.
But then what she's capable of doing now, she recognizes, well, she knows certain things. It's like, there's my self image. And also, who can control your self image, Amelia?
Me?
Exactly. Can anyone else control your self image?
No.
No, but she knows this as the truth. So she can discern, oh, if you think, well, first of all, it's if. You didn't even say that you don't like me yet.
Mhm.
But even if you don't like me, that's what you think about me. But I know what I think about me. And that's what makes me happy if I focus on what do I think of me, right? And so with metacognition, she's able to think about what she's thinking. And therefore, if bad thoughts come her way, she's able to go like, no, that's not true. That is a what if thought, but it's not the truth. It's just like almost like I'm guessing, but it didn't even happen.
Right.
But otherwise, most kids are a little bit more like my scary thoughts, my fearful thoughts, or anxious thoughts say that I have to give away my things so then they can like me more. And so they listen to that thought and they just do it. And then afterwards, they're like, oh, I'm not happy anyways, because now I feel scared to be myself. Right. So I would say the framework that you're sharing is know the truth versus what are their opinions, and to challenge your bad thoughts, turn them into good thoughts. But the North Star would be more like, do you remember when you shared we should focus on listening? I would say, based on what you told me, I think your North Star this whole time has changed to I am not trying to get you to like me. I'm just trying to be interested in you.
Mhm.
I think this has been your North Star, your goal, the thing that you've been aiming for. If you imagine, have you gone bowling before?
Yeah.
And when you go bowling, you're like rolling the ball and you're trying to hit the pins. That's like your North Star. It's like, that's where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to hit the pins. But then when let's say you're a beginner, you have what is called bumpers. You can actually hit a button and the bumpers come up. So even the ball goes boing, 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 back and forth, it'll still go down and hit the pins. So in the end, the North Star is I'm going to hit the pins, but the bumpers on the side is your framework. No matter what, I know it's like I'm going to be heading the right way. I know I'm going to do this first and then that next and then that next, step by step. Right? So your North Star is I just want to make sure that I'm interested in them and I'm not thinking about me. I'm just thinking about them. I love that. That's a beautiful North Star, and that is the way to go. It's when kids have the North Star of I want you to like me, that's when things go bad. That's when they end up people pleasing. Because anytime we have a goal, it becomes our doubt. So if my goal is I want you to be my friend, the doubt is also what if you don't want to be my friend?
Yeah.
I want you to like me, but what if you don't like me? I want to make sure I don't sound weird or awkward, but what if I sound weird or awkward? And then you do sound weird or awkward because you're overthinking it. And that's exactly what you've been trying not to do, right? Is to not overthink things.
Right.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the North Star, I have another way of explaining it, which is leave them better than how you found them. So basically, the way I see it is that if we are thinking or worried about, are you going to be my friend? Are you going to like me? Technically, it's a taking energy. I'm trying to get something out of you. I'm trying to get you to be my friend. I'm trying to get you to like me. It is taking from this relationship, and it doesn't work very well. However, if it's a giving energy, it's like, don't even worry about me. Don't even try to like me. I just want to leave you better than how I found you. I just want you to know that I find you interesting, and I want to show you that I find you interesting by
Yeah.
being curious about you and asking you questions.
Mhm.
So, okay, so
And
the
you also mentioned, like, as parents, like, a lot of these teaching, we're definitely telling our kids these things, right?
oh, yeah,
But I think the videos in your Rebel Ninja Academy, it was very engaging, and that really helped her, like, retain the information. Because, like, sometimes, not always, I can sit with her and watch the videos, but there are times when she would watch them, and then just, like, as we're talking in conversation or in the car or whatever, she'll, like, mention something that you mentioned in your video. And then, or she would say, like, sometimes in your videos, you put in like throw in a fun fact or something. And
yeah.
she would just say it, and we're like, where did you learn that? And then she would say that she learned it from your video. So like we really, my husband and I, when we, in the beginning, we watched a lot of them together just to see what the whole thing, the program is. And that's what we both were commenting, like, oh, you're very engaging for children, like it's
Not for
because
you.
no, it's
Only
engaging
children.
because I think it's like parents, we come off as like more like it's bias, of course, because it's our child and we want them to
Yeah.
do X, Y, and Z. So like a lot of we're saying it's more like in a sterner way, or like, oh, I can't believe that happened. Why didn't you do this or say that? Which isn't necessarily how children want to receive information. So like I think a lot of that was just because it was brought in such a fun way. A lot of the way you were saying it is more like a fun, friendly, happy, silly,
Mm.
that it was more, I guess, they were just retaining it more than in the lecturing way that parents typically,
Well, here's the thing. Yes, I do my best to like make it funny and easy to understand, and also you walk away knowing how to implement it as soon as you finish this funny short video, which is all very challenging to do. Now, even if you did it exactly the way I did it, my advantage is I'm not mom and I'm not dad, right? And so it's there is something to it that if I'm not mom or dad, I have the advantage, and I will sometimes say things exactly the same as a parent, and then the kid will be like, "Oh, I've never
yeah.
heard this before." And the parents are like,
Yeah,
"I told you
we've
this so many
only been
times."
saying it all the time. But funny story, I don't know if I ever told you, but one day we were in the car and she
Uh-huh.
was, going through all of her friend struggles, and I was actually on Instagram, right? And
You were on
I was just like scrolling, and your video popped up, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, and she is really not supposed to be looking over my shoulder, but she was I was so engaged in your video, and I'm, like, watching the whole thing, and she's watching it, and after it ended, I didn't know she was watching, and she was like, "Mommy, can you contact him?"
No way.
Yeah, she really, like, whatever that topic was, and at the
Right.
time, she was really going through it, and she was
I
like,
remember there was one specific part where you're like, and do you want your child to come home and be like, I have friend problems? And you're like, what happened? And then you say, I don't know.
"Oh, yeah." And she was like, "Yeah, this is happening to us, like, why don't you contact him right away?" And
Oh my gosh.
and so, like, that, like, I was like, "Wow, she really, like, watched your whole video." I remember you had, like, a whiteboard and you were showing she was like, "Yeah, all those things are happening to me, mommy. Contact Andrew
How
right now."
interesting.
Yeah.
Because, the Instagram videos are actually tailored for parents, and then I totally redo everything for the kid videos, green
Yeah.
screen,
But
sound
she liked that
effects.
one so much. She was like,
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to him right now."
Well, that's awesome, and so I love the feedback, and so you're saying that she retains a lot from the videos, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So let's see about that. Okay. All right, Amelia, are you ready? Okay. What is
A pop quiz.
a question detective?
A question detective is someone who tries to find out more about someone else by
Mm,
asking them questions.
wow. Do you remember what kind of questions we ask?
Like, not yes or no questions, open-ended questions.
Wow, that was amazing. Okay, very good. Very good. Yes. And okay, well, all right, I'm impressed. This one's a little bit harder to remember, so it's okay if you don't know this one, but how do we make friends? Like, friendships are built off of this one word. And so, how do we make friends? We have to build more. The first letter starts with a T.
Um,
Think of what word is coming to your mind.
The hint I'll give you is like, if you have this with someone, if you feel this way towards someone, you don't feel like they're going to be mean to you or they're not going to lie to you or treat you the wrong way. Starts with letter T.
I don't know.
T R.
I feel like you're making the lift for the say the word. What's coming to your mind? Just say it.
I don't know. I think it was the word travel. Travel.
Travel. Yes, travel with your friends. They'll be closer friends with you. So this one word is trust. What does trust mean to you? What does trust mean though?
When you trust someone is like when you trust them. I don't know.
Can you explain it without using the word?
When you think that they're gonna like keep your secrets and they're gonna
Yeah.
help you when things go wrong, and when you have a sense that they'll always be there for you.
Yeah, I love it. Those are all super important. Great examples. So basically, you feel like they're not going to lie to you. They'll keep your secrets. Your secrets are safe with them. And I think safe is probably the most important word. It's like you feel like they're not going to judge you. You feel safe around them. You can be yourself around them because you know they're not going to judge you. You feel safe around them. So trust is kind of like, so I think one of the things that you've been doing since your North Star is to be interested in other people, even if someone's quiet or someone's shy, it is an act of leadership to go up to a shy and quiet person and get them to feel like they can trust you.
Yeah.
To know that, like, hey, I don't think this person would maybe judge me or treat me the wrong way. I feel like I can share my secrets with this person. I can share more of who I am, and I won't be rejected. I won't be made fun of.
Yeah.
So now let's see how much you remember.
Hmm.
Do you remember the word tactical empathy?
Yes.
What is that?
Tactical empathy is like this one I don't remember.
It's a very big and complicated word with two different complicated words. So tactical means like strategy.
Yeah.
Empathy means to think about other people's feelings. So do you remember? Well, tactical empathy means like there's a certain amount of talking and a certain amount of listening. How much do we do? How much listening? How much talking?
80% listening, 20%
Wow.
talking.
Yes, very good. Okay. So now, in order to build friends, we just need to build more trust. Because the thing is, Amelia, I know you're nice. You know you're nice. How are you getting other kids who don't know you yet? How are you getting them to know that you're nice and that they can trust you? Is it more listening or more talking?
More listening because because everyone's favorite topic is themselves.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's even true about me too. And so, okay, so if everyone's favorite topic is themselves, tell me a little bit more. Why is listening our best strategy?
Because when you talk to someone about yourself, it kind of makes you feel better and it kind of makes you feel like they're listening and they are really interested. And that's another thing. You really need to you can't be like on your phone like mommy does when I'm talking to her. She's just scrolling through Instagram.
It's not always true.
Okay, okay, continue. So show that you're listening
Yeah, and you
and
can't be like looking around
yeah.
and you need to like look at the person who's talking. And when you do that and they're talking about their favorite topic, which is themselves, like you said in your videos, they won't know why. They just really want to be friends with you and they really just like you.
Yes. Okay. And so because when you listen to people, you're making them feel what?
Seen, heard, and understood.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Okay. So basically, so what do we do? Just walk up to people and just like stare at them and listen?
But you have to like start a conversation, like you said in your
Mm,
videos. You use the topic of ice cream. You're like also what they're doing in the moment. Like you said, maybe they're buying ice cream. You could be like, "Hey, what's your favorite flavor?" And they
yeah.
could say chocolate, and you could say, Why is chocolate your favorite flavor?" And they could say because it tastes like a chocolate bar. And and I think that when you keep asking like follow-up questions and they do a lot of talking, like of answering those questions, those open-ended questions, because
Hmm.
yes and no is like, it's really boring and easy when you
Mm,
like talk, you get to know them more and
yeah.
then you eventually like become friends.
Yeah. And do you feel like you have to be a really good talker to do this?
No,
No, because you have to be a really good what?
listener.
Yes, very good. So actually, if you're really a quiet person or a shy person, do you feel like actually this would be your advantage?
Yeah, because you could make friends in a way where you wouldn't have to talk and you just have to ask questions.
Hmm. Wow. Okay, very good. So this is basically, even if you're a quiet person, then you can get really good at this because you can stay quiet. You just have to only talk a little bit and
Yeah.
let them talk.
Yeah.
And we call this a question what?
A open-ended
Wait,
question.
wait. So we call it what kind of detective?
Oh, a question detective.
Yeah. Do you want to play a quick game?
Sure.
Okay. I'll be the question detective. So I'll go first. You lead first, and I'll be the question detective first.
Okay.
Okay. So you talk about anything you want to talk about, and I'll just ask you questions.
Okay. I like cheerleading.
Really? What do you love about cheerleading?
I like how you can like dance and you could like cheer up people. And I like how you can like, I like the outfits, like the cheer uniforms, and I like the pom poms. Can
Yeah.
like shake them.
Hmm. Do you have like a lot of different pom poms?
So our school colors are blue and gold, so we have these like blue and gold ones.
Uh huh. So why do you like the pom poms?
I like to shake them, and I feel like whenever I hold them, I feel like when I dance, it just feels so much more professional.
You feel more professional?
Yeah.
Wow. So like, do you have a favorite dance?
So once we performed at there's this like place where a lot of basketball players. It's like Barclays Center.
Hmm.
So we performed there once because it was like a District 20 because our school is in District 20 and it was like an all-star game. So the best basketball team performed. No, they didn't perform. They played basketball and then
Yeah.
in quarter and halftime and like the quarters and after the game, a lot of the cheerleaders performed and we performed a dance and that was my favorite dance.
Yeah. What song was it?
I don't know who
Level
sings
up.
it. I don't know who sings it, but yeah, it's called Level Up.
Level Up. Um.
I forgot the
All right.
artist.
Very nice. Okay. Now, time out. Did you remember we were still playing the game?
No.
So basically, and so we were playing the question challenge this whole time. You're being the leader, and I was being the question detective. And when you play this right, it really, I am actually just practicing being a curious human,
Yeah.
being interested in you. And when you're talking about, and so here's a couple of things I learned. Well, yeah, halftime or the last quarter, you basically do a dance, and it was like a really important team, or maybe one of the top teams is what I'm remembering. And when they're playing, this is when you had your favorite dance, and it
Yeah.
was to the song Level Up, which
Yeah.
we'll figure out later who was the artist. And what else did I learn? Oh, you like the outfits, you
Yeah.
like the pom-poms.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of these things about you, right? And did you feel like I was pretending to be curious or was actually interested?
Actually interested.
Yeah. Now, going back to the very first thing we did earlier today on the call, we talked about the things on your wall. We talked about culture and how, like, for our mom and for myself, our favorite thing about traveling is getting to learn more about a culture through eating the food, because through eating the food and understanding, like, how did this food come to be? What was the history and all these things? That's so interesting because you're learning about not just a person, but their culture and their family and their parents and their parents before that. You're learning about them, really.
Yeah.
And so when you're playing the question detective, you're doing the question challenge, you're basically doing the exact same thing. So you're just learning more about other people. And when you're learning about other people and that's all you're trying to think about, do you even have room in your brain to think about yourself?
No.
Mm-mm. You're just focused on the other person and you're just being interested in them instead of going, but what about me? Do you like me? How do I sound? Am I sounding weird? Am I sounding awkward? You can't even have room in your brain for that. You're too focused on the other person.
Right.
Let's switch roles real quick, but now let's have mom play now. Mom
Great.
is the leader. Okay. Now, Amelia, you change roles. You're gonna be the question detective. So you're gonna ask mom questions. So okay, so mom, just start off with like I like to XYZ.
Um, recently I've been really liking to watch Korean shows.
What do you like about them?
Well, I think it goes back to me loving to learn about other cultures.
And their food.
Yeah, because I do like eating a lot of different foods from different cultures. So now I'm trying to watch shows from other cultures so I could learn so much more about their culture just by watching interactions in the show and the storyline and, how they handle situations of life and things like that.
What like you said you were like watching like with like shows about cultures, like a lot of different cultures. What's another culture that interests you?
So other shows so I like to watch these shows with Daddy.
When I go to sleep.
When you guys go to sleep, yes, because they are adult shows. So another one, believe it or not, is shows and movies from our own culture because we grew up in America,
Yeah,
so we
I
don't
watch
know.
those ones with you.
Sometimes you watch them and you also learned a lot about our culture through the
Yeah.
shows and movies. Yeah, so I like to do that with Daddy and you sometimes so we can see what it's like in other cultures and we can see that through the shows and the movies.
Is that why you like to watch that show MasterChef? Because it's like a global
Currently, we were watching MasterChef.
gauntlet.
Yeah, this particular one is called a global gauntlet, and it's different regions of the world.
And they all compete
Yes.
Very good. Okay, and time out. Very good. So, like, basically, Amelia, did you learn anything new about mom just now?
Yeah,
What did you learn?
that she's watching shows from like all around the world.
Mm. How long have you been living with your mom?
9 years.
9 years. So all your life. You're telling me you've lived with your mom all your life
Yeah.
and you still don't know everything about her?
No.
Wow. So what would that mean when it comes to meeting new people?
For as long as you know them, like you could know them your whole life, but there's still more to learn.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, who do you think we have even more things to learn about? People we know or people we don't know?
People, both
Both, yes. But who do you think we can learn even more from? People we
people,
know or people we know nothing about?
people we know nothing about.
Exactly. My point is, though, is that if we don't know somebody, it's beautiful because then there's so much we can learn,
Yeah.
right? So, do we need to have anything in common, like K-pop demon hunters or the same interests of toys and
No.
plushies? Yeah, exactly. Right. So, the more you have that you don't have in common, the more,
You can learn.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the beautiful things. If you just change how you see making friends, it becomes more fun, right? So before we go, I want to add, can I share with you why this became so important to me? Like learning all that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was this commercial where this guy would he would go into a party and everyone would greet him. I'm like, that doesn't happen to me. And then he's like on a boat. And then he's like wrestling a shark. And then he was like, and then it was always like the slogan was the most interesting man in the world. It was like a beer commercial. So I don't know why I was seeing that as a kid, but I remember when I would see it,
The
I
90s
would I
were
would just be
different
like,
times.
I would like to be the most interesting person in the world. So then it intrigued me, like, what makes someone the most interesting person in the world? Is it fancy cars? Is it nice clothes? Is it being popular? Or is it like playing musical instruments, right? Because there are people who do that and they seem really cool. Is it sports? Is it like what makes someone so interesting that everybody would like them? And then I found out what actually makes someone the most interesting person. The most interesting person can get other people to feel like they are the most interesting person in the world. And then the way that they'll see you is that you're the most interesting person because they feel seen, heard, and understood, and they won't know why, but they just want to be around you because you've learned how to build trust with people quickly. And trust builds friendships and turns friendships into feeling like brothers and sisters to or best friends, right? And so now I can, and I think this is exactly what you're experiencing. Like anytime I go somewhere, I just talk to people and I don't feel scared. So the science behind this is actually so this is not psychology. A lot of the things we do in Rebel Ninja comes from psychology, but now this is neuroscience. Neuroscience, basically, the way to describe it is it's called neural expectancy. Your brain is really good at picking up patterns really, really fast. So, for example, Amelia, I come over to your house and I have pizza. And guess what flavor it is? It's the best one.
What do you like on your pizza? We were actually going to bake pizza yesterday. What did you want to put on top?
Sausage.
Salami, right? We
Yeah.
wanted to put salami.
No, we made these sausages and Daddy cut them up and he made them like in a circle and they look like pepperoni.
So let's say I come over with salami pizza. Yay! And it's like so delicious. And tomorrow I'll come over with salami pizza. And then the third day, I don't even open the box. I'm like, guess what's inside this box? Can you guess?
Salami pizza
Yes. I didn't even open it though. Like, how did you know?
because you keep bringing salami pizza.
Yeah. I didn't open it. Do you have x-ray vision?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Is that how you were able to see through the box? Can you also tell the future?
Yeah.
Okay. So realistically, most people cannot tell the future or see through things, right? But how did you know?
because in the past few days you brought food, the same
Yeah.
food.
Yeah. So what is that called?
So here's how intelligent our brains are. Our brains will pick up on patterns. So neural expectancy, neural means brain. Expectancy is kind of like think patterns,
Yeah.
brain patterns. So when your brain sees a pattern, it's always going to try to predict the future so you can feel safe. It's like I'm pretty sure that it's going to be another salami pizza,
Yeah.
right? But what if I tricked you and I was like, psych, it's just cheese pizza, which isn't so bad, but it's not salami pizza. So then I get it's like I was wrong. And I start bringing salami. I stop bringing salami pizza and I bring cheese pizza, cheese pizza, cheese pizza. What do you think I'm bringing again?
Cheese pizza.
Exactly. That's how, and so you'll know because of the pattern. Here's my point. If you walk up to someone and you don't know tactical empathy, you don't know how to be a question detective, you just think about yourself. Am I going to sound weird? Am I going to sound awkward? Are you going to become my friend? Are you going to like me? And then you overthink it. Then you sound weird and awkward, and it was a bad experience. You had a bad time. And then you walk up to another kid, like, hey, do you want to play with me? And they walked away. You're like, I had a bad time. Just all you need is two to create a pattern. After those two experiences, or you had one bad time, and then you're going to walk up to someone and you're like, what if it happens again? Now that you imagined it, you just had two bad times. The brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. Now, what do you think your brain is going to expect is coming next for the third time? A good or a bad time?
Another bad experience.
Exactly. So when you try to be yourself and then someone didn't like it, and you try to be yourself and it didn't go so well, then you're going to probably people please to make sure it doesn't happen again. Or maybe if you don't people please, you do the introverted version, which is isolate yourself in your own island to protect yourself, even though you don't like being alone. It's the only way you know how to be safe. Now, if you do the question detective, right, the question challenge, you're acting like a question detective, and then you made a new friend, which is a good time. And then you make another friend by just being interested in them, and they feel like they are the most interesting person in the room. So now they find you interesting. There's trust. You had two good times. What do you think your brain is expecting is next?
Third good time.
Exactly. Right. So that's kind of like what you've been experiencing is you've been picking up this new pattern. It's a good time. Good time. It's probably going to be another good time. Yep, I knew it. And then another good time. Another good time. And then guess what? And it's like, oh, I had a bad time. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're having a bad day because I have all this evidence. This seems like an outlier. It's probably just this one time. And then you're right. And you stick to being yourself, authentic. You keep practicing the right skills and you're making more friends. I'm not a fan of trying to make kids positive thinkers because it's hard. Oh, just be positive or just go and they're going to like you. It's hard because then you have all this evidence of a bad time and a bad time. It just feels like you're like, mommy or dad, you're just lying to me. Like, this is not actually what I'm seeing. But with the right games that you play inside your own head, then you have someone who has a hard time thinking it will turn negative because it wouldn't make sense. There's just all this evidence of it being positive. So like, how could it turn negative? And if it does turn negative, it's probably, maybe I can learn from it, but it doesn't change who I am because I know who I am.
Right.
Yeah. So there's all that happening. It's just the truth now for her.
Yeah.
So
No, I definitely see it. I think that I was a little nervous after we finished the 6-week challenge. Will she retain it? Will she remember? There is like a little bit of a learning curve.
You know this is on YouTube, right? And these people, they don't know what the 6-week challenge is. You have
Well,
to
I
explain.
think
the Rebel Ninja training.
the rebel ninja training. And so I was nervous about that, but I like that she still had access to it. And so in the beginning we were like referring back, like, what would Andrew tell us to do? So we were referring back to a lot of the stuff, but I think eventually, because it's been a few months now, we took this like kind of in the fall. So it's been a few months, and I do think that it's like kind of ingrained in her now. Like now it's just like
Yeah.
part of like her response and the way she thinks. It's not like perfect. It's not every single, scenario, but for the most part, I think she does remember them and she does like kind of go back to it. And overall, because she's built the self confidence while she was doing it in the 6 weeks, I think that's helped a lot too.
Yeah. I love that. Awesome. You know, it seems like it's really ingrained in her.
Yeah.
For a lot of the parents who are listening, what we usually do at the end of the show is if you can share, do you have any advice for the parents who are listening?
So I was hesitant, putting her in the Rebel Ninja
Well, I
Academy.
mean, like more like advice to the parents, like regardless if they have the kids come into Rebel Ninja or not,
Oh,
Yeah.
what
okay.
advice do you have? They're just trying to do their best to help their kids be joyful and happy. Do you have an advice around that?
I have an advice.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Don't look at Instagram when your child is talking.
Okay. Great advice.
Yeah,
Okay.
great advice. I think overall, it's just we as parents, we sometimes want to fix like our children's problems, right? Like like we did when they were toddlers. They didn't have those social skills at the time, so we would intervene and just fix it for them. But eventually, they have to learn those skills themselves, and so it is hard as a parent to see your child struggle when there are situations when you as an adult have those skills or you've experienced them and overcome them, and you're trying to tell them like, hey, just do X, Y, and Z, because you don't want them to be sad. You don't want them to come home and feel like, hey, I didn't know how to handle this strategy, especially in school, because they're constantly seeing these people over and over. It's not like one time experience. So I think that like the best advice was just, if you have to kind of wait till your child is ready, and forcing them and giving
Mm,
them advice that like we know as an adult is not always the right way to approach it, because they don't have those skills yet. They have to learn to build those skills, and we're going in with that bias. Something to
mm,
step back and look at.
mm. Like in a way, like mentally stepping back,
Yeah.
letting them step forward into it.
Which is hard as a parent, you want to
Mm,
just do it for them.
yeah. I love that advice. And I totally agree. I totally agree. And it's like you're teaching a kid how to ride a bike. You could be holding on, or you can let go for a couple seconds and then grab back on just so they're safe, right? But just so they can see for themselves that,
Yes.
what? I did this without your help?
Right.
Just that, right? And she's nodding her head because that does feel good and it feels great to just feel capable and to see it for yourself. And that's where confidence comes from, is knowing that you're competent. It's all that confidence is self-belief. Whether
Hmm.
you can or you can't, you're right. If you just believe you can, that's what confidence is. It's just that belief, but it comes from evidence. So what you're saying is giving your child the space to experience that evidence for themselves, take that first step for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
And you, of course, want to protect them as much as possible, but the whole point is to get them to see it for themselves
Yeah.
while you are, of course, maybe in charge of the container of safety. But it's more like you're leading them to taking their own steps,
Mhm.
right? I love that.
Exactly. Because it'll set them up for the future.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show, guys. It was
Yeah.
definitely such a awesome pleasure to just hang out with you guys some more. And
Yeah.
thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, MC.
Yeah.
Of
Bye.
All right.
course.